plants, with the farmers, and with each other. Today I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about local food and how important that is for your communities, your small farmers, and for the environment. But I figured I should let you guys try some actual local food if we're going to be talking about it. So I have some oranges for you guys. They are from Blackfoot, Florida, and fun fact, from the northernmost orange grove located in Florida, grown organically. And they're supposed to be sweet oranges, but you shouldn't send your boyfriend to buy produce for you because he got you guys sour oranges. So I thought it was kind of interesting though, because it also shows that when you buy local food, you can find these varieties that aren't going to be found in the grocery store. So if you guys want to try some, go for it. But they are sour. They're still good though. They're still like sweet and a mixture of like sour. So yeah, if you guys want to pass them down I only had a couple of plates, so. And then these also demonstrated that a lot of people think when you buy local, it has to be expensive, but these oranges were 5 oranges for a single $1. And the same place that sells these oranges also sells like grapefruit, 3 for $1, and other really good prices like that. And then I also have these strawberries from Stark, which is about another 30-minute drive outside of Gainesville. And we're basically in our peak strawberry season right now. So these are super fresh, super great. I don't think anything beats a fresh ripe strawberry. So, and these are also at a really good price because they're in season. $5 for 2 huge pints of strawberries. And then another point I wanted to make about how close these things are. Most of your food, most of your produce is going to be coming from 1,000 to 2,000 miles away from you, which is a huge distance, a huge amount of fossil fuels being used. And with oranges and strawberries, most of them are coming from California or with oranges from Brazil. So that's probably more than even 2,000 miles. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is the fact that local businesses really help to support the local economy. So you have small businesses, they keep your money in the economy by putting 2 to 3 times more back into the economy than chain businesses. And then they also help to create jobs. Local and small businesses have added 65% of the jobs into the American economy in the past 17 years. You also have them building a sense of community. When you're getting to know the people selling your food and growing your food, it really makes you more aware of what's going on. And finally, local businesses are more likely to buy local themselves, helping to complete the cycle. The next thing I want to talk about is the fact that organic does not mean sustainable. So most people, they see this symbol on their produce or on whatever packaging, and they think that means this food is healthy, this food is sustainable, it's helping the environment, but that's really not the case. So I brought this today. This is the National Organic Standards. This is organic. Everything that's organic is contained in this book, and if you follow the protocol in it, you can call yourself organic. But in this book, they don't account for large farms using hundreds of thousands of gallons of fossil fuels. They don't account for the fact that people are still allowed to use plastic mulch, which basically is just large strips of plastic being laid over the ground. And in organic, it actually has to be removed each season, adding tons and tons of plastic to landfills. And then they can still spray certain types of herbicides and pesticides, which, even though they're organic and they might not be harmful to humans, might still harm the natural ecosystems on the farms. And like I said before, they don't account for the fact that food is traveling thousands and thousands of miles, once again using tons of fossil fuels. So basically, there's tons of farms that are getting into organic now, a lot of large-scale farms, like I said, with hundreds of acres, and they're trying to get into it just for the profit margin, and they're not caring about the sustainability aspect of it. So basically, you have farmers just trying to make a profit, and like when you go to places like Trader Joe's, you have to wonder, why are those organic items so cheap? And it's because they're being grown at the minimum level of sustainability allowed by this standard. So, organic certification or a piece of paper will never ensure that you're getting good food. You have to know your farmer. Which brings me to my next point. Supporting small farms, which to me trying to become a farmer is probably the most important aspect of buying your food locally. We're supposed to dress professionally for this presentation, but this basically is the professional dress of a farmer. So we're in the field every day, growing our food with a combination of sweat and love, and we don't have time to be putting on slacks and button-down shirts. A lot of people would say that farming, you probably have to be crazy to want to be a farmer. And that's because the upstart costs are high, the returns are low, and the work can at times be grueling. But at the same side of that, the farmers that I know around here are some of the hardest working, most dedicated, kindest, most respectful people I know. And if anyone is deserving of having their business succeed, it's these people. And they can't do it without their help. So, talking about how important it is to get to know the people growing your food, I thought I'd introduce you to a few of the local farmers. This is Jordan Brown. He is the owner and operator of the Family Garden, which is probably the largest organic farm in the Gainesville area. He's what I like to call a farm realist. So he has kind of given up some of the aspects of sustainability on an environmental sense to have economic sustainability. So you can see this is the plastic mulch that I'm talking about. So he uses that. He uses a large amount of land and large tractors, but he's able to pay his workers $14 an hour, and he's able to have a constant market where I believe he's the only farmer in Gainesville that's actually able to sell to grocery stores. So, and just to kind of emphasize what it's like to work on a farm and how much work he's put into it, I wanted to read a quote from his website in his employment section. So, we pay a living wage, which means we expect a solid return in labor for money. Farming is a low-margin business, so there's no room for unproductivity. I can teach you to farm better than a university, but it usually doesn't happen in a year. If you want to farm, are able to work hard 50 to 65 hours a week, outside in the cold rain and heat, email me. You'll get enough money to pay your bills, a safe place to work, and education, and respect. So I felt like that really was a good summation of what you can expect when you're going to work on a farm. The next farmer I want to talk about, this is Noah, the owner of Swallowtail Farm, which opened in 2009. They, aside from cultivating beautiful vegetables, as you can see, they've probably done the best job of cultivating the love of the community. They have lots of different marketing techniques where they've been able to bring the community out to their farm so they can really get connected with the way that they grow their food. They have farm-to-tables where fresh harvested vegetables are prepared by local chefs and served on the farm. And they also have huge farm harvest festivals in the spring and the fall where people are able to come out, become connected with the land, hang out, see the way that everything is grown. It's really an amazing experience. And they were even able to raise $30,000 through GoFundMe to start a micro creamery. So I feel like that just shows how much the Gainesville community has grown to support this farm. And then this is Cody from Siembra Farm, one of the newest farms in Gainesville. It opened in 2012. And this is probably one of my favorite farmers because he literally bought this land and started it on nothing but his own will. I can't even believe that he has been able to do what he's done with the farm. It's only been open for 4 years, and it's only 5 acres of land, but he has grown to be so respected, especially by younger people in the community. He really understands that we don't often have the money to pay for a lot of the organic prices that you'll see at the farmer's market. And so he even offers to let students and other people come out, work a couple hours on the farm, get to know the land, get to know the plants, and you get to take home a huge box of vegetables called a CSA share. Which brings me to my next point. Community-supported agriculture. This is probably the best way that you can support small farmers in your area. This is basically a way that you say, I'm dedicating myself to this farm for this season. Because basically farms don't have a lot of, they have a lot of expenses at the beginning of the season, but they don't have a way to pay them off until the end of the season when they're getting all the money from the vegetables they're growing. So generally the way CSA works is you dedicate a lump sum, and then throughout the season you get a box of vegetables every single week. And the main problem with that for students is that we don't often have a huge lump of money to just give to a farm at the beginning of the season. But Cody from Siembra allows you to say that you're going to buy the CSA and dedicate in that way, but then pay $25 a week for the box, like when you come and pick it up. So it's actually a really great way, a really easy way to get vegetables, and it's a really good value for your money when you're getting a huge box of organic vegetables for $25. And then I also wanted to talk a little bit about wards. Most people, or a lot of people, feel like they need the stability of a grocery store in their life. So Wards is really great. They're the only locally owned grocery store in Gainesville, and they've been operating since 1951. And they're really, really dedicated to buying local. Plus, they're really cheap. If you guys have ever been there, they have a bargain bin where you can get probably the cheapest vegetables you can get anywhere.
Infrastructure. Ward's Supermarket is a grocery business. It's been in business here locally for 61 years. Started with a produce business, and we bought 61 years from local farmers in this area. And as our business has grown, we've included more and more local small grower families in our supply base. And now we have many other cottage industries that have incubated out of the store. People that have come to us with dreams of having their own business, having nowhere to sell their products. We've included them into our inventory and helped their businesses grow. Supports our community, supports local people, makes the fabric of our culture, of our local society stronger.
So I felt like that was a really good summation, not only of what Ward is doing to help support local producers, but also just, I mean, you can see how passionate that guy is about just things like that. So now I come to the challenge part of my presentation. I want to challenge you guys for 1 week to try and eat at least one locally produced item every day. And it's pretty easy. Either go to Ward's, which is open, 7 days a week. We have 3 different farmers markets in Gainesville. Most of you guys probably know the Union Street Farmers Market located in Beaudry Plaza, and it's open in the afternoon, 4 to 7 p.m. every Wednesday. We also have the Alachua County Farmers Market on 441, which is every Saturday, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., and the Hale Plantation Farmers Market from 8:30 to 12. And then I know a lot of people maybe aren't motivated to cook themselves a meal. You go out to eat a lot, but you can also support local growers through businesses that are dedicated to buying locally. 2 of my favorite restaurants in the area would be the Top and the Daily Green for this. I remember one time when I was working on a farm, dropping off a delivery of fresh harvested basil to the Top, and then going there later that night, getting the pesto gnocchi, and knowing that the basil that I dropped off in the morning was actually like what I was eating. It was just, it's kind of magical seeing the whole cycle completed like that, And so I basically want you guys to go out, you can get your eggs, you can get meat, you can get vegetables, everything can be acquired from a local producer. And when you're eating that one local item, I want you to think about the impact that it's made on the community, that it's made on this, and that it's made on the small farmer, and how such a small change has really been that important.